Hi, welcome to Learning at Scale 2022. I'm here to present our demo, Software Support to Achieve A's for All. My name is Dan Garcia, and I'm presenting on behalf of my co-demoers, UN Garcia, Connor McMahon, Craig Zillis, and Matthew West. Learning, as it usually happens in classrooms all around the world, students come in with aptitude and preparation that varies, and so there's a bell curve of that. And at the end, they get A through F grades. And so the mantra must be, there's a fixed time, a semester, a term, or quarter, and variable learning. And this has huge implications for achieving equity goals. The big idea from Benjamin Bloom in 1968 is that students must achieve a level of mastery before they can move on to the next next topic to proceed with. And the mantra there is, it's a fixed learning variable time. And if you allow the student to keep working until they show proficiency or mastery, you will see achievement goals that look like the graph you see on the right, with many, many A's versus very few A's. So how do we do this at scale? Maybe with a very patient teacher and 2 students, it's great, but at scale, very difficult. Enter Prairie Learn, created at UIUC. It's free, it's open source. Other universities are using it, and the key idea is, rather than authoring questions, practitioners author question generators. Here's an example of 4 very rich question generators. We're not talking about multiple choice. Here is graph, here's click a point, here is fill in some fields for a Boolean expression, here is look at a data path and come up with what signals need to be 1, 0, or don't care. This can be used for formative assessment like homeworks and projects, practice, or summative assessment like final exams or big projects and big homeworks. I use this particular question in my own course, and again, you write 1 question generator, and the same version of this fractal, different versions of this fractal are given to different students to deal with both cheating issues, but also to be able to give each person a different question that are all equally difficult. This allows for quite a bit of innovation. You can move from having a few high-stakes exams to having a lot more higher frequency, smaller stakes quizzes. The graph you see on the right indicates some research on the UIC that says that if you do smaller stakes quizzes, then a lot of D's become A's in that particular sample. You can have students retake exams without a variant until mastery, and they can redo projects until mastery. You can keep pounding on the autograder. We love this. You can just basically keep working until you show proficiency. So Alfie Kohn wrote a piece in the New York Times that said, well, some people believe that an A is only an A because you mean you're the top 10% of the class. Well, the school's ultimate mission apparently is not to help everyone learn, but to rig the game so there'll always be losers. This makes no sense in any context. So we propose an A's for all model as time and interest allow. Time says, you know what, I'm a senior, I don't have time, fine, take the B. Interest says, you know what, I don't really need this course, I'll take the B anyway, that's fine, take the B. But if you're willing to put the work into, we'll let you stay with their course to get the A. The bar for what it takes to earn an A does not change. It's not grade inflation where you're giving everybody A's. No, it says the A is what it's always been. It's just that we're going to support you in as much time as it takes for you to get there. The belief that every student can get there. This is crucial for a sense of belonging in the introductory courses. And students can, if they don't finish by the end of the semester, can finish the course afterwards or get an A in 1, 2, or 3 units. We believe that A's for all, as time and interest allow, has the potential to make the biggest difference in equity than anything else in our lifetimes. Full stop. So how does this work? Well, the student works with an assessment group. This could be Prairie Learn or Gradescope or a homegrown autograder. The grades and logic, what percentage of a homework counts for the full grade, all that logic in the grades are stored in a Google Sheet or a database or a Sakai folder, however it's done, but that's outside of Prairie Learn and Gradescope. And then you get the registrar maintaining the student information system. So the students doing work and tests, they're actually practicing, and they're finally actually then doing their summative assessments on their exams. And they're getting feedback all along because they need to know that from the autograder or from the exam. Maybe they take the exam and then they find out didn't do so well, take the exam tomorrow and you'll do better after that. The student, once they're finished with their homework 1 score, let's say they do very well, pushes a button that updates the homework 1 score to the director. The director says, well, to the assessment group, what's the homework 1 score? That's student homework 1 score. They say 90 out of 100. They say, that's great. Then that goes to the grade logic and say, what's the current grade? It says, well, the current student currently has a B. This, by the way, is all happening asynchronously with everyone asleep except for the student who's just finished after the term is over. So we built an asynchronous system that's able to manage this. This director is the key to the whole thing. Now the student has a B. Well, if I push their homework grade of 90, now what's their grade? Well, it's an A. Oh, it's an A. Well, then this director can push to the student information system saying the student finished but incomplete with an A, and that can then push to the student, hey, congratulations, your grade's updated to an A. Outstanding. Let's give you a demo to show you how this works. All right, here we go. So what I'm going to show you is first Prairie Learn, and then I'm going to show you how this works in our spreadsheet. So this is our spreadsheet, a student dashboard. in homework 1 tab, here's me and I have a score of an 8 in some particular homework. Here's my dashboard. I see it's homework of 8. I don't have a score for homework 2. My total homework is 8. I'm working on the application project. That's what this homework is called. What to do next is blank. There's nothing to do next because I have not shown mastery. So this is all blank, and this is programmatically driven. I can click on this concept map navigator here. And if I click on this, that link is automatically programmatically generated. I get what's called a concept map. A concept map is a data-directed, it's a mapping of the topics or concepts in the course in which topics to the left need to be mastered or shown proficiency before you can work on the topic to the right. I've shown here orange to indicate no mastery. I'm just starting this course out, and the application, my homework, I'm not doing very well in. Well, why? Because it's a Python piece of code. And right now I've got an 8 out of 10. Here's the project, here's the goal. I'm supposed to write the double procedure. It's supposed to write a function to double a number. How hard is that? It's 2 times n, right? Well, my code, I put a little piece of code, it's gonna be tested on the numbers 1 through 100. And what this code does is it returns the correct answer, 2 times n, for n less than or equal to 8. Well, that means 1 through 8 is correct and everything else is 0. It's incorrect. It should be doubled. Well, when I try to grade this, I get an 8 out of 10. And so that's why you see my grades here are 8 out of 10. Well, let's try to fix this and make it a little bit better. Let's make it 9. So if I then update this is going to be correct for 9 out of 10. Now I click Save and Grade. Notice it says unlimited attempts. In Prairie Learn, I can take an unlimited attempt to do this. So I'm retrying this. Oh, look at this. Let's try down here, scroll. It's grading. Look, I got 9 out of 10. Notice my new score is 9 out of 10, my highest max. Prairie Learn, remember, is the highest score it's ever gotten. By the way, Prairie Learn also tells you some information. My auto grading code says, I failed on, I got 9 points because I worked on 1 through 9, but I failed on 10 through 100. And we know that because that's the way the code works. So that's pretty neat. Now I've got something that works. I got 9 out of 100 here, not 9 out of 10. So let's go back to this. Does this update it? No, it's not updated because I need to, remember the director, the student needs to send a message to update that. So remember, my sheet doesn't know anything about Prairie Learn, and director is the person who is the back and forth. So I click update homework 1 and I sync this. I've already authenticated to the system and it's now syncing. It's synced the scores of the system. Let's go, look at this. This is updated. Here's my hands. I'm only clicking what you're seeing clicking. It's only happening. My director received the request to update it, pushed to Prairie Learn, asked Prairie Learn what was the score, and updated this sheet. This sheet used to say 9, now 8, now it says 9. And so my template, this template is a student dashboard. This dashboard is what the student sees. They get a read-only version of this dashboard. And if you recall, what to do next was blank. This is a piece of code that says when this is less than 9, you're blank. Otherwise, actually that's that one. This one says when you're less than 9, you're blank. Otherwise, it's the next thing. So all the logic of what to do next can be encoded and placed in here. So that's pretty cool that you can have this dashboard, again, a read-only version, tell you what to do next. It says, I need to go to read CNN to do by computing in the news about computer science. And now let's click on my dashboard and see that. Remember, orange was my application. It's now green. This is programmatically controlled. Here is the URL that says, when I have a 1 there, it says I've shown proficiency. So I put a 1 in for the field that controls the color of this. The color of the circle is automatically changed from orange to green when the date changes. You put in the date of the beginning of the course, and this automatically changes. As the course just goes on, you already put basically the calendar of what gets introduced when. That then automatically changes it so the student knows when this node, by the way, this is dynamic. I can click this and shrink this. So this is really big. This is a dynamic HTML visualization. Lets me play with the concept map. It's really beautiful visualization. So the circle is when the material has been introduced to the student. The color of the label is when the student has shown proficiency. So here, application, the student has shown proficiency. This went from orange to green. And as I continue to do work, I will then continue to have these labels change. This is my concept map navigator. So what we've introduced in this demo and workshop is how software support for A's for all. If I have this model of A's for all, how do I do this without having to have an army of graders that updates all the spreadsheets? My director maintains all of it. It pulls data from Prairie Learn and pushes into my logic, and that same logic is the logic I use for everything all along. The student sees a dashboard that updates dynamically in real time. My name is Dan Garcia. Thank you so much for coming to my Learning at Scale 2022 demo and workshop.